Murder Mystery Part 10. Previously, in Boarding School Murder Mystery, the school buzzed with rumors about Mr. Grunfeld's drinking and night fishing, as if that explained everything. In health class, Gwen learned that people can disappear in cold places, and not everyone asks the right questions. Then Rain told a story about men vanishing along the Alberta Highway, called into the woods by voices they trusted. By the end, it wasn't the monsters that scared Gwen most. It was how easily the world moved on. Chapter 10. Something is Amiss at Whisperen Academy by Glory Fink. Dear Diary, I didn't hear about the fingerprints from the police. I heard about them the Whisperen way, in fragments, in half whispers between bites of toast, in the library, where someone leaned too close and spoke like the books might be listening. In the hallway outside the science wing where rumors echoed louder than footsteps. Someone said the skiff had been wiped down. Someone else said the whiskey bottle was too clean. Someone swore there were no fingerprints at all. At first, I assumed it was just a rumor, the kind that multiplied when everyone was scared and bored and desperate for answers, but the same details kept coming back, unchanged, no matter who told it. No fingerprints, not on the skiff, not on the bottle. The more I thought about it, the less sense it made. If Mr. Grunfeld had been alone out there drinking, then why wouldn't his fingerprints have been everywhere? Wood, glass, rope, something. The absence felt deliberate, like someone had taken the time to remove them. I carried that thought around for an entire day before I said anything official. I turned it over during classes, meals, and assembly. Each time it settled heavier. When I finally spoke to the detective, I didn't present it as fact, I asked it as a question. Don't you think it's interesting there weren't any fingerprints found on the skiff or the whiskey bottle? There was a pause. Not long, but long enough to tell me I hadn't imagined the rumor. Where did you hear that? He asked. Around, I said, which was true. He didn't correct me. He didn't say the rumor was wrong. He only said evidence was complicated and that they didn't comment on ongoing investigations. The lack of fingerprints implies that someone was trying to obscure evidence, either during the act or afterwards, I said, which could imply a conspiracy or, at the very least, deliberate obfuscation on someone's part. Maybe someone was trying to obscure where Mr. Grunfeld's body was. After all, it's unlikely anyone would accidentally find his body at the bottom of a lake where no one scuba dives. What's your name? He asked. I'm Gwen. Gwen, write down your number here in my notepad. We should talk sometime when I don't already have an appointment. So I wrote down my dorm's payphone number, and we went our separate ways. After how dismissive so many adults at the academy had been toward me, it was a little gratifying to be listened to by this officer instead of brushed off or gaslit. But it got me thinking. If the rumor mill knew this much, then the information had escaped somewhere. It hadn't come from nothing. Someone had seen something. Someone had talked. And now everyone was pretending that wasn't alarming. Then there was the other detail, the one that felt less like gossip and more like a warning sign. Mr. Grunfeld hadn't been just a missing staff member. He had been the school's internal auditor. He had been in the middle of reviewing Whisperen Academy's financial records. And now, quietly, efficiently, the school had decided there would be no new auditor this year. I learned this the same way I learned everything else important at Whisperen, by overhearing staff members stop talking the moment students got too close. It was later confirmed in carefully empty language. The audit would remain unfinished. That didn't feel normal. Audits didn't just stop because they were inconvenient. 2 days later, out of the blue, the detective called while I was in class. I didn't get to talk to him right away, but Talia, my RA, left a message to call him back. When I called after school, he sounded tired, not irritated, just worn down, like someone who had spent the day explaining the same strange situation without better answers. He told me he had spoken to his supervisor, and he said they agreed the lack of fingerprints raised additional questions. Then I mentioned the audit. I told him Mr. Grunfeld had been actively reviewing the school's financials. I explained that the administration had decided not to appoint a replacement. I asked, carefully, if that didn't seem unusual. There was a long silence. Then he let out a deep sigh. Not frustrated, not dismissive, resigned. "We were not aware of this," he said. "I will look into it." "If you haven't already," I said, "it might be a good idea to dig deeper into anything and everything Mr. Grenfell was personally digging into, just in case it turns up anything interesting." There was a long pause on his end. Then he replied in a guarded tone, "Yes, I can see how that might be useful. Goodbye, Gwen. Study hard." And with that, he hung up. I hung up feeling less reassured than before. Why did I seem to know more strange side details about this case than the police were willing to say out loud? Was I living in the Upside Down? Because Whisperen Academy no longer felt quiet. It felt managed. I'm not sure what to make of the goings-ons here, or the lack of curiosity on anyone's part but mine. It's like no one with any kind of power or authority has any real interest in what happened to Mr. Grenfell except me. And I didn't even like the guy. Maybe I should just leave things alone. I don't want to accidentally draw unwanted attention to myself. I think I'm doing a pretty terrible job of blending in anyway. This stuff feels so obvious, and my mouth keeps opening and spilling what I know before I even have time to reconsider staying quiet. Crossing my fingers, Gwen. P.S. Later that night, I almost tore this page out. Not because I thought I was wrong, but because I wasn't sure who might eventually read it. I'm leaving it in. I guess I'll find out soon enough whether this is brave or careless. Coming soon in Chapter 11, A Perfectly Reasonable Cover-Up. Next time, someone steps forward to take responsibility. The police say the case is closed, and Whisperen Academy will reward the man who cleaned it all up and made everything tidy. Too tidy. Gwen wishes this was a joke. Thanks for tagging along with Gwen in Chapter 10. At Whisperen Academy, rumors spread faster than truth. Fingerprints vanish, whispers multiply, and what should have been impossible becomes quietly accepted. A missing man leaves behind questions no one seems eager to answer. An unfinished audit disappears with him. And every authority figure insists there is nothing to worry about. But Gwen listens. Gwen asks questions. And Gwen begins to realize that silence, too, can be carefully arranged. Because at Whisperen Academy, the most dangerous thing isn't what's said out loud. It's what everyone agrees not to notice. Cue ominous music. Catch Gwen's Chaos and Sadie Cohen Bounty Hunter 2 wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and beyond. If you've ever tried to keep your life together with nothing but caffeine, sarcasm, and a prayer, you could tap the heart button. Engagement is magic. Leave a comment. Gwen will absolutely overthink it while trying to fall asleep. Or even toss a coin in the snack fund. Haunted Looting's welcome on Ko-fi, Venmo, and Cash App. Your support keeps indie storytelling caffeinated, chaotic, and just haunted enough. Stay tuned for Chapter 11, A Perfectly Reasonable Cover-Up at Glorious Magazine at gloryfink.substack.com. Stay connected with the Coffee Bunny Crafters Cafe. Subscribe for cozy chaos, creative magic, and behind-the-scenes updates at coffeebunny.substack.com. And you can find me, Glory Fink, as Glory Writes the Blues on social media. Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you the next time. Goodbye.